Hello guys, today I want to show you how you can make your e-commerce business accounting easy. I've designed this database for my Amazon business. I'm an Amazon FBA seller. When I started selling on Amazon, I was looking for a software which I could use to track my inventory, sales, expenses, refunds, and miles driven for the business. I tried to find a cheaper software as I didn't want to add a lot to my startup cost. So after looking at various softwares, I couldn't find anything less than $80. At this point, I decided to put my Excel expertise to work and design this application. Once the application was completed, I decided to share this application with other e-commerce sellers too, as there are a lot of people who are struggling with their e-commerce business bookkeeping. So without any further ado, let's dive in and see how this application works. First of all, when you open up the application, you'll be welcomed with the dashboard. So on the dashboard, you'll see these six charts, which is profit. In every chart, it's the data is separated by the months. Same way in sales, same way in products sold. And actually, in products sold, it gives you a total number, and that number changes when you change the filters from the slicers. Cost of goods sold, it is separated by months. Estimated revenue, which is based on your inventory in stock, and this also changes by the month. And expenses, this gives you different um, um, expenses in different categories. So for example, if you select all 3 months, it will give us these three different categories that I have recorded. Now this number this actually tells you that how much inventory you have in stock. This is the return on investment, and this gives you a general idea of your sales, fees paid, and cost of goods sold, and revenue received. So if we move to the next table, now this is the mileage and the reimbursement. So if you click on it, see a calendar opens up, and then you can select a date, and you can by the end date you can click on it, and you can select an end date too. So when we change that, it should change the number. I think I have added it from a different month. There you go. So when you change the date, it automatically fills up these fields. Now in expenses, this part, it gives you a total of expenses. On the chart, it gives you it separates the data with the labels, with the categories, but over here it will give you a total amount. All right, now let's go ahead and show you how you can add inventory to your database. So first of all, we will click add new inventory, and when you click on it, a form opens up. I have two screens, so that is why the forms are opening up on the right screen. Now when this form opens up, you can see a lot of these fields. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to scan the UPC barcode of your product. As you can see, I have scanned the product. So you can use any UPC barcode scanner with this application. It will work. Second thing, as soon as you scan the UPC barcode, merchant's queue comes up. Now this is a unique identifier which is used to track every entry in this database. You can search products, you can add refunds, you can add sales by just scanning the merchant's queue, and all of the fields fill up automatically. Now let's move on to this field. It says product source. Now in product source, as you can see, I do have a lot of these stores. If you want, you can add some stores to it. Later on in the video, I'll show you how you can do that from the settings tab, which is right here. So in this case, we'll just select Walmart. Shipment ID. As I told you earlier that I sell my products on Amazon. So that is why I added the shipment ID, with which I can track, okay, how many which item was sold from which shipment. If I want to get a report, I can do that. In items listed at, this is the store where you're selling it. So in our case, we'll do Amazon FBA. In same way, you can add more stores to this list. I will show you later on in the settings tab. Product name, let's say this is a stapler. Category, let's say this is a black stapler, and we bought it for $5. FBA fees was $3, and they're selling it for 12, and we purchased 10 pieces. All right, we go ahead and click on save, and it says data has been saved successfully. We click OK, and we click cancel. Now, just to show you, you can verify by going to database, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, as you can see, right here, this is the product that we just entered. So Amazon FBA, we bought it from Walmart. This is the merchant SKU, and this is the UPC code. Now this is the stapler, black. We bought it for $5. This was the fees to sell it, and this is the sale price. Now all of these calculations are done automatically with the formulas. So if we go back, now I want to show you one more thing where you can print the product data page. So if we click on product data, as you can see, this page shows you the UPC code and the merchant barcode. The main reason to design this page is to so you don't have to add anything, or you don't have to type any numbers and fill up the fields to add sales or to search products or to do most of the stuff in this database. So let's go ahead and walk you through how you can print this page. So first of all, we'll go ahead and select it with the product name. You can actually filter these from these tables. So let's do this. Let's just select that product, and then we'll select the entire thing, and we click on file, we click on print, print selection, and we click print. There you go. All right, so now this page is printed. My printer is printing the page. In the meantime, we'll go back. And now once we get over here, now you can also see the inventory report. This database is basically just for all the calculations, but if you want to print out your inventory report, you can do that by clicking on inventory. So inventory page is displayed as a report. It contains cost of inventory in stock, which is right here, and cost of inventory purchased. All of these numbers, they change. You can filter the data by using date column in the table. So for example, if we select all of them, it will show everything. And as you can see, these numbers changed. So these numbers are basically subtotals, and you can print them the same way by just selecting whatever you want to print, and you go file, and you go print, and you just change it to print selection. That will print out your inventory for that specific month which you have selected. Okay, so the page is printed, the page that I print from this page. Now I have it, and for example, if you want to modify an inventory, so for example, you say that you made a mistake in the sales price and you want to go back and modify it. So all you would do is click on Modify Inventory. This form opens up. You scan the merchant SKU and see all the fields fill up automatically. Then, for example, if you said, "Oh yeah, I want to sell it for $15," so we change this to 15. We click Save, and see it asks you, "Are you sure you want to save these changes?" We say yes, and it says, "Your requested changes have been saved successfully." We click on OK. We click on Close. All right, so I have the page printed from this table, product data. Now, let's say you want to modify an inventory, you want to change a sale price or anything from an entry that you did from Add New and Inventory. So all you would need to do is click on Modify Inventory. This form opens up. You scan the merchant barcode, and as you can see, all of these fields fill up automatically. Then in this case, we're changing the sales price to 15, and let's say, yeah, the as we change the sale price, FBA fees increase. So let's say it was $4.99. So we will go ahead and click on Save, and it asks you, "Are you sure you want to change these, save these changes?" You say yes. You click on OK, and now we can verify this data by going back to the database. And let's scroll all the way to the bottom. All right, now see, this is the FBFE. So as you can see right here, so it's $4.99 and sale price changed to $15. Now, when you modify these numbers from modify inventory, these numbers also change because these are calculated by a formula. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add a sale for that stapler that we just added to our inventory. So for that, what we will do is we will click on Add New Sale, and same way a form opens up. And since I've printed that product data page, now I have the merchant SKU. All I'm going to do is scan the merchant SKU and see all of these fields fill up automatically. Now, whatever is grayed out, you cannot modify those fields. So in this case, you won't be able to modify the UPC code, item listed at, shipment ID, or anything. If you want to change any of this, UPC code you can't, even from the modify inventory page, but you can change these four items from the modify inventory form. So today is this date, yep, and sale price 15, FBA, and we have 10 in stock. So let's say we sold five of them, and we click on save, and we click on OK, we close. Now we can verify it. Again, you don't have to go back to database to verify the sale entry, but in for the tutorial purposes, I will go into the database and show you where the data is being saved. So if we scroll all the way to the bottom and look at this. So today, date is 9/17 and Amazon FBA. This was the shipment ID. We sold stapler and it was black and sale price was $15. FBA fees was $4.99 and we sold five pieces. So this was the purchase price and this was the profit in total. So we made $25.05 of this sale, this one sale. Now revenue that was generated was $75. And cost of goods sold, that was $25. And this was the fees paid, which was $24.95. Okay, so now we go all the way back to the home page. We click on this. All right, now let's say if you want to print a sales report for a month, for a specific month, or for the full year for annual accounting purposes, you can do that by clicking Sales tab. And as you can see, this report exactly looks like the inventory report, only the numbers change. So over here, it's you've got total sales, that is this amount right here, and total fees paid, and the revenue received. You can print this report exactly the same way as we have printed the inventory report and the product data page. So by just clicking this and you click here, you go to file menu, you click print and you just select print selection and you can change the margins too, it all depends. And in this case, see all the columns are not fitting on one page, so we do fit all columns on one page and everything shows up as a report and we can just print it out. All right, so let's go ahead and add a new expense to our database. Okay, to add expenses, you would need to click on Add New Expense, and when this form opens up, so you need to fill up all of these fields. So let's say we purchased a Dymo label maker for our business. Let's go ahead and say Dymo label maker, and when you click on the next field, this date automatically populates, and these are the expense categories. Now you can add more items to these categories to this list by clicking on the settings tab. I will explain all of that later in the video. So in this case, demo label maker, we would say, yeah, this is related to office supplies and expense subcategory. We say, all right, I don't see a category for that, but let's go and select miscellaneous. You can, again, you can add more items to this list too. And payment method was credit card. If you have more payment methods, you can add that over here. You can add that in the settings tab. An amount, let's say it was $49.99. We go and click on save and click on OK. Close. Okay, now if you want to print out an expense report at the end of the month or at the end of the year, you can do that. So for that, you need to click on expenses. And as you can see, these are the this is the expense report. Again, this number is a subtotal which can be changed if you select just August or any other month. All right. Yeah, let's say if we just want to see September, see this number changes, and we'll go and select all of them. And this report, you can print this report exactly the same way we printed the sales report and we printed the inventory report. And then we go ahead and go back to the home page. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is how you can add a new trip to this database. And for that, we have to click Add New Trip, and this thing comes up. So description of, let's say we want to record trip to UPS, uh, dropping off shipments. All right, so now we'll have to record the starting mileage and the ending mileage. So let's say when we left the house, or we left our business, it was 25,962 miles on our car, and when we came back, it was 25,982 miles on the car. So we'll click save, and we'll click OK again. We close. So on the dashboard, as you can see, this number changed. So this table is basically just an overview, but you can get a complete report by going to mileage. And as you can see over here, it shows us that on 9/17 we made a trip to UPS. We dropped off shipments. Starting mileage was 25,962 and ending mileage was 25,982. Total miles driven, that was $20, and the amount was $11. Now this is the reimbursement amount. These days, I think government is giving 54 cents a mile, so you can claim this in your taxes at the end of the year. So whatever you drive for your business, you can claim that. And this report, you can use it with your annual profit and loss statement when you're doing your taxes, so you have proof. And also, I would recommend one more thing. You can so whenever you make a business trip, always keep the receipts to back up your reports and to back up your profit and loss statements. Okay, and also again, the same way you can filter it by going by clicking on this column drop down menu and changing the months, and exact same procedure to print it. Same way, click on file, and then we click on print. And now what we can do is, all right, let's see, we say print selection. We want to do orientation to be landscape, and you want to do narrow margins, and scaling should be fit all columns on one page. And there you go. And now you can just click print, and you've got your report printed. Right, so you can click here and you go back to the home page. All right, so now let's go ahead and show you how you can add a refund to this database. Now, as you remember in the previous example, we added an inventory for 10 staplers, and then we sold 5. And now, so we will add a refund for 2 staplers. So now what we'll do is we'll click on Add New Refund, and this form opens up. And as you remember, that we have printed that product data page. So what I'm doing is I'm scanning the merchant barcode, and as you can see, all of these fields fill up automatically. We can change the date if we want to. Otherwise, we'll just leave it on today's date. In quantity, let's say we refunded 4 of them. So we click on save and we click on OK. Now, in order to get a report printed, you need to click on refunds report, and as you can see over here, all the refunds are showing up. Now you can print this report exactly the same way we printed our inventory page, inventory report, sales report, and our expense report and mileage report. And you can also filter it by the dates. So you by the months, you can go by the months or by the dates. See, as you can see, it shows you how many entries you have for that particular month. All right, so once we add that, now as you can see over here, this gives you the product name and everything. Now this number is also a subtotal, so if you change the date, this number will change. Now this table actually does not correlate directly with the database on the back end. So for example, in this case, we have added a refund for 2 staplers, and customer didn't like them. So, and when we get the items back, we see that, okay, both of them, we can sell them again. So in that case, what we would need to do is we would need to add them to inventory again. We would have to do a separate inventory, because that way you'll have those 2 staplers recorded into your database again. I won't recommend doing modify inventory, because that will change up and that will mess up your current in stock inventory. So I won't recommend that. I would recommend just once you do a refund, just go to add new inventory, and add that product once again. So obviously that will give it a different merchant SKU, but you will have that product as a separate item in on your product database on your product data page. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next report. That is the profit and loss statement. So the way you can get to it is by clicking profit and loss. Okay, now as you can see, this report will show you income generated from different stores, the total amount of refunds that you did, and then cost of goods sold, and then all of these expenses. Now, as you can see, this report can be modified by date from and date to. So if you click on this and we select, for example, just August. So if you say August 1 and we want to report till August 31st. All right, let's go ahead. And there you go. See, these numbers changes. Now, what you can also add different stores to this report by just clicking on it and changing the name that is exactly the same as you set up in the settings tab. All right, now let's go and let me give you an example that how you can set up new stores and how you can set up new expenses. So for example, if we go back and see our settings, we do have a store, Shopify, that is not listed in this list. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our sales report and see if we have any sales from that store. Yes, we do. So we check mark this only. All right, now as you can see, the total sales that were done from this store are $447.37. Oh, 35 cents. All right, now we go back to our profit and loss statement. So we'll go ahead and modify this name. We'll change it to Shopify. All right, now as you can see, this number changed, $447.35. All right, and then the same way we added a store, we will add an expense and see how that comes up. So if we go back and let's go and click on back and see in expenses. And I think we don't have office supplies in that list. So we go back and go to profit and loss. And yes, we don't have office supplies. Okay, so now what we'll do is, since this is add new expense, and as you can see, this is zero right now. So if we do office supplies, and there you go, the amount shows up 49.99. So it is pretty easy to add new expenses. I won't recommend to add sub expense subcategories over here. I would recommend to add expense categories. So as you know, as you can see, we only have like 15 cells that you can add expenses, and about 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 stores you can add. Now, if you want to print this report out, it is pretty easy. All you need to do is just click on this print icon, and it selects everything, and it prints out a report. So you actually don't have to select and then go in the file menu and print it out. Okay, so the next tab is product data, and I have explained you about this sheet, that why do we have this sheet in this database is just to make it easier to enter sales, refunds, and to search products. Okay, now we go back to the home page and let's move on to the next tab. All right, so this is the calculator. Now, as I've explained to you earlier that I'm an Amazon FBA seller. Sometimes we do have to make bundles to sell products. So this calculator, I've designed it in a way that you can easily put the product name, cost per unit, quantity, that how many you're adding to a bundle, and you can just add that stuff. And this one, it gives you a total, and then you can just select it and you can print it out if you like, or just to figure out the price rather than doing it manually on a calculator, you can do it on this sheet. Now this is the shipping unit calculator. So for example, if you sell it on Amazon FBA, obviously you will be putting multiple products into one box and then shipping them off. In order to figure out the exact price and to do that sale price analysis, you would need the shipping cost per unit. So for example, in this case that I've entered, shipping 96 units, and the total cost was 36.78. So it's 38 cents per unit. That is the shipping cost. Now this is a sales price calculator. So all of these amounts that are highlighted, you can change. and then that gives you a break-even price, a sales price, and a profit per item. All right, go back to the home page. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on to the next tab, which is product report. So this report will actually give you detailed analysis on per unit profit, loss, and return on investment. This is sales. So whatever you sold, that will give you detailed analysis in like ROI, in dollar amount and person. And this is the sales price calculator, and this is the inventory status. So for example, I do have a product over here. Let's do the stapler first that we added. So if I scan that, now as you can see, the purchase price was $5, and this is the per unit analysis. So current sale price is 15, FBFE is 4.99, and revenue after FBFEs, and it gives you a return on investment. Now on this side, it tells you, okay, total sales 75. So as you remember, we sold 5 pieces earlier, and total FBFEs paid, revenue received, and as you can see, ROI dollar amount and ROI percentage. Now over here, this gives you the inventory status. So you've got this is the inventory in stock, that is $25, quantity purchased 10, sold 5, and quantity in stock 5. On this side, you can actually figure out the sales price. So if we say that we want to sell it at 16.75, see, it will tell you that what is your ROI and what is what is your ROI in percentage and what is your ROI in dollar amount. If we say we want to sell it for $17, and you see this number keeps changing. And you can easily print this report out by clicking on this print icon, and there you go. The report's printed. Now I want to show you one more form that correlates with this report. So if you don't want a detailed analysis, you just want to see whether a product is in stock or not, what you can do is you can click on search product, and another form opens up, which is something like this. So what you do is you scan the merchant SKU and you click on search. Now, as you can see, this will give you detailed information. So what is the UPC code? What was the purchase date, product source, shipment ID, item listed at, product name, category, purchase price, and FPFE sales price, as you can see. And it also tells you how many you have in stock. Now, let's go ahead and show you another example. Okay, so I have another merchant SKU. All right, now as you can see, this is completely sold out. So yeah, this item was purchased from Walmart and it was sold at Amazon FBA. This is a sample product and it's a 2-pack. The purchase price was 164, FBA fees was 565, sales price 980, and purchase quantity 125 and quantity sold 125. In this way, look at this, in stock 0, cost of inventory in stock 0, and estimated revenue. As I explained to you earlier, estimated revenue is based on the quantity in stock. That is 0. So total sales 1225. We are completely sold out of this item. All right, we're going to click on clear and we click on close. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to the next page, which is the database. And I'm pretty sure that at this point in the video, you are pretty familiar with what the backend database is, what is the inventory database, and what is the sales database. Both of these databases are something that where all the data is saved and all the major calculations are being done. So let's go ahead and move back to the home page and the last and the final tab, which is settings. So as you've seen me selecting different stores and different expense categories from the forms earlier, and on this page you can add different stores to product source, different selling platforms to items listed at. You can add expense categories, payment methods, and subcategory. Let's go ahead and add one of the product source. So we'll go ahead, select one, right click on it, and we say table rows below. Okay, now what we can do is we can just say, let's just say it's JCPenney. We are adding a store. All right, now we go back and we go to add new inventory, and let's see. All right, as you can see, JCPenney is right there. Now we go back to settings and we add another platform where we're selling our stuff. So let's just say Swappa. Okay, now we go back and go to add new inventory and items listed at. See, Swappa is right there. This way you can add multiple items to these tables. Now this reimbursement per mile is the amount that does all the calculations in the mileage page. As you can see, if you click on it, it gives it says this name, Table 17 reimbursement per mile. All right, now let's go and go back to the settings tab and see if we, oh yeah, and we can actually add more expense subcategories too. So the same formula, you just right click on it, go to insert and do table rows below, and that will add another row in the table. And you can say anything. You can say test, or it all depends on you. Right, let's go ahead and go back to the home page. This concludes our video today. And I would say if you like the video, please click on that like button, and please do share this video with your friends and other e-commerce sellers if you can, so they will also be able to get a benefit from this database. And I will put the links for this database in the description below, where you can go and purchase it. And the way it works, you'll purchase the database, and we will go ahead and send you an email uh, with a couple other files. And one more thing I forgot to mention, that is this product data. We will also email you these font files, which you will have to install on your computer. So you will be able to use these barcodes. If you have any questions regarding this, please do leave comments below. I'm hoping that you like the database that I created. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time.